Hey everyone, it's Book of Catherine. I hope you're doing well. So we are back to part 2 of Revelations and how it relates to Beirut. And this is kind of a really big one because it reveals what's coming up on Yom Kippur. At least this is what I think is going to happen. So this would be the third prediction that I think is going to happen. The last two came true from what we've seen and what we've heard. So here's something, for example, like we started paying attention to Jewish holidays. And when we did that, we noticed, for example, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on the first day of the Jewish New Year. So we noticed that. We looked back and we saw that the other huge Jewish Supreme Court, he wasn't Jewish, the other huge Supreme Court justice, he died on a major Jewish holiday, and it turned out he was in a relationship with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So it's starting to we're starting to notice that it's important to pay attention to Jewish holidays. So it's more and more important to pay attention to these Old Testament texts as well in conjunction with Revelations. So anyways, it's good that we're not really, I don't know, I feel like none of us have any training. All of us are kind of, I was going to say pagan. All of us are kind of removed. We have all of it. None of us had really, training in it. Like I was raised, it was just all of us were kind of raised separate from it. It's in a way, it's helping us a lot. There's handicaps for sure, but in a way, it's helping us too. I don't know. So let's go ahead and get into it. I think Yom Kippur is going to be a big day in Beirut is what I'm trying to say. So I think a huge, huge prediction is coming up in Beirut. And I'll skip to the next end of it. So it says in number 20, it says, "Oh, heaven, celebrate and join in the saints, and apostles and prophets. God has judged her. Every wrong you suffered from her has been judged. A strong angel reached for a boulder, huge like a millstone." Notice all that grain that came down. That was another thing with Beirut. That's why I think that Beirut is this Babylon, this doom of Babylon, that Babylon's fallen. All that grain, and it says the angels grabbed for a huge millstone, right? Huge like a millstone, and heaved it into the sea, saying, "Heaved and sunk. The great city of Babylon, sunk in the sea, not a sign of her ever again." Okay, so you want to know why? I want you guys to see this. 2 reasons. Number 1, Beirut is actually on a fault line. So I've been getting reports that there's a lot of fault line activity out there. And so I looked it up, and it turns out that it's on the Levant Fault. Have you guys looked that up? They stupidly built these 22-story tunnels, Hezbollah, down to Haifa, and stupidly up through all that ocean along the Patriarch, redrawing the Patriarch trading cities, it seems. And that's why it keeps smoking, is because all these explosions keep going deep. Now, here's another thing. This is why I think on Yom Kippur, here's my suspicion, and I may be wrong, but here's my suspicion, is that on Yom Kippur, see this? Oh boy. How am I going to do this? Here, let me do something. Hold on. All right, that works. So, do we see this? This is Beirut right now. This is the Beirut port. And this is looking at it from the other side that they never let you see. And do you see that looking onto Beirut port? Oh gosh, I feel like you can't see it. If you see that, let me try and provide a link to it down below or whatever, dang it. But this right here is the big granary. And that is not flat as it should be. That is tilted. Tilted down into the sea. And as you can see, there keep being explosions at the port. There keep being the explosions. For example, I'll show you one of the more recent explosions. A big explosion happened on September 11th, by the way. You should know that these ancient texts said that Give her back what she is given, but give it to her double. Now, here's what I find interesting about that, is that supposedly Hezbollah controls this port, right? But what it looks like is that tunnels went from Israel, from Hezbollah underneath Israel, over to Beirut. But from our research, we saw that Israel might have been involved in 9/11, right? Some of Israel, not all. Look at that. That is an explosion that happened on 9/11 at the port. New York was a port city. This happened on 9/11, a new explosion at Beirut. Pay her back what she is given, but pay her back double. What do you think it means when it says that, by the way, this is the granary right here. This is the granary right there, right in front of that black cow spoke. And it's tilting down. You can't see it. That's why they keep, has it driven you guys nuts that they keep taking all the pictures? All the pictures happen from this view. Have you noticed that? There's a reason for that. They don't want you to see that it's tilting. So I think, I have a suspicion that on Yom Kippur, which is this Sunday, September 27th, I have a suspicion that maybe that granary is going to go down. That maybe enough levels of those 22 stories. This is why I think that. Because it says that the explosion caused a 43-meter crater. And I was like, how would you know that? How would you know a 43-meter crater happened in the ocean? How would you know that? What sand would go and then it would flow back in. The ocean would just keep going and swirl it back in. The ocean sifts itself out. How would you know a 43-meter acre was created? And then I was like, oh, if you have 22 stories, you would know exactly 43 meters. Ding, ding, ding. You took out 10 stories. Explosion you. So anyway, I'm just going to leave the lights on like this. Anyway, I guess it's Halloween coming up, right? All right, so the sound of hallelujah. Oh, nope, we're in Revelations 18. So, oh, heaven, celebrate, join in saints, apostles, and prophets. Oh, and that's interesting too. I've been hearing that, the churches are saying, I just listened to a tape, not a tape, I turned it off. But there is some guy out there saying there's some big, what is it? I'll find it. hold on. Yeah, the AOC network, the Two Witnesses, and then also the A&Q Productions. I get these slick little, because, of the research that I do, I now get the AOC and the AOQ and the A and the N and A and N. And I get these people that have great titles that they look like they're researching the same things that we are. And then they get out there and they make it sound like they're like, and they make it sound all like nice and slick. And they're like, so I was thinking, and I just thought, but the thing is their videos are just like so high quality and they're using all this high tech movie stuff. And I'm like, this is high quality, like beyond Soros. I'm like, this is the Soros stuff this is George Soros. This is where this is where he's working and no one's talking about that. This is his stuff. This is the stuff right here. And they're saying full on, these people are saying, they're talking about the in 1 hour. I just saw it. Look at this. I couldn't believe it. I was like, isn't this what I was going to do today? I just did this. Boom, in 1 hour.
Waste and turneth it, maketh it, has said, very generation, and this time through the prophet aimed.
And they cover the same people, and just look, they're using a Brad Pitt movie.
This tape tuned it out too quick. They turned it off.
That's their logo.
They could have stayed. Something prophesied many years ago, aimed at this.
That's a Hollywood movie.
This time through the prophet Isaiah said, a time is coming. God said, I'm going to turn everything upside down.
Oh.
The scripture makes it very clear. It says, behold, the Lord maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste and turneth it upside down.
Whoa.
Sudden judgment coming to this world.
That's amazing.
And I want you to hear what the prophet
Dude,
Isaiah is saying.
You must know it all. I'm just like, yeah, isn't that the stuff Hitler was trained on? Anyway, so they do the stuff where they're like, oh, there are no new prophets. And so they see the two witnesses are the prophets from before. Like they're talking about whether or not it's Isaiah or whether or not it's Enoch. And I'm just like, are you serious? And here it is, right in Revelations. It's like prophets and saints and apostles rejoice. And I'm like, right here. It's talking about newbies. It's saying and they're like, oh, no, new ones. No. I'm like, oh. Like, it's so sad that there are no new. You should see the Geneva Bible from the Protestants who came over to America. You cannot find the canon. They have wiped that. The Romans and these people from Tyre and Beirut, they have wiped that. You cannot find the canon. You cannot find a list of what books they have in that. It's a huge, they have drawings. They have all these drawings and diagrams and everything. And I'm like, great, our nation was founded, freedom was founded. They had people who successfully broke away from all the dictators of the world. Those texts and that Bible isn't in print. Yep, we're learning that. So anyway, it says, heaved and sunk the great city of Babylon, sunk in the sea, not a sight of her again. Silent the music of harpers and singers. You'll never hear flutes and trumpets again. Artisans of every kind gone. You'll never see their likes again. And I'm like, how much is going down? How much is going down with that granary? I'm just saying, I have a feeling, because if it goes down, it could go into those 22-story tunnels that I have a feeling are there. And if those collapse, then what else goes down with the city? Okay, so here's something you don't know. So I read an article today, or last night with my friends, and we were going over all of this with the millstone and stuff. And it turns out that Beirut is actually really poorly built. That's the infrastructure you hear about that's really poorly done. Things are built on stilts in Beirut. Houses and homes are built on stilts. That's why when it burst and it went forth, you saw entire buildings knocked over. So I'm going to show you a video, and I'm going to show you how bad this was, how bad this explosion was, so that you can get an idea the things that are on stilts and how bad they're already shaken, how bad these buildings are already shaken, all right? All right, so I'm going to play it back at normal speed, and then I'm going to slow it down for you, because no one's playing these. These are hidden. I was shocked when I saw them. And this guy does a minute and a half of still photo, and then it just goes by so quickly and you don't see it. So I'm going to, and then I have this big, I know I have a big shining thing, so you're not even going to see it then. I know it sucks, and I keep needing, it's my FND that doesn't allow me to do the programs. But I'm in a big new treatment program, so I'm going to be able to do that for you guys soon. I'm going to be able to be like normal people and do all that stuff for you guys. So thank you for sending all your love and well wishes that got me into because your power of love got me into that FND program. It's very hard to get into. Very difficult to get into that FND program. And I know that your love and thoughts got me into that. That is a big deal. So I'm going to get better. I'm going to be able to be like a normal person and actually do this the normal way. Yay. So here we go. See here.
عندنا في مرفأ بيروت. يا عذرا يا عذرا البناية يا عذرا انفجار نووي.
All right. So I'll do that one more time and then I'll slow it down for you guys. Or maybe I'll just Sure, and you can just skip. Hold on. All right, I'm going to try and link this below for you so I'm nice and healthy. Let's send good love, thoughts, prayers, whatever it is that you do, that I will be able to link this below for you, because you know that's what it is just me being healthy enough to use my fingers and think. I hate it. Sometimes I can't think enough to ask my husband for help. Like, I can't even call downstairs for help. I can't move my mouth or use my vocal cords. I hate it. So it's like I need help and I can't even scream. It sucks. I can't even use my... But we're going to get better. Here we go. Nice and slow. Haha, now we have to wait slow. All right, let's go ahead and just do the rest of this before I get off this, and then we'll go on to next things in Beirut. So so I skipped to the end to what the text says is verse 20. I just skipped to that end. O heaven, celebrate and join in saints, apostles, and prophets to go to the strong angel who reached for boulder like a millstone. Millstones are what they use to grind the corn down, and so that's why I said it's the corn for the grain. So anyway, that's why I said the millstone is for that big granary that's on the port bow. But earlier we didn't do the verses 11 through 20. I kind of skipped those just to get to that message out there early for anyone who's sticking around or has property or whatever. I'm like, get out of there. There's some people, in my opinion, there are people, the peace trees, in my opinion, people are making, the Chaldeans and everyone who's there, they're all making peace treaties to get up to Israel, to get down into the tunnels, and in my opinion, to get up into Israel and get their stuff out. And I'm just like, not worth it. Run. I think Israel may be next, because Israel used to worship Astaroth, it turns out, and Astarte. Israel did that. That's what way back King Solomon turned to Astarte in the end. In the end, he worshipped Astarte. And so a lot of the Jews actually stick with Astarte. Most do not. In the end, when Jesus Christ came, most did not actually follow Jesus Christ. They don't believe in the Messiah even today. And even though all the things that we've looked at here point to Jesus Christ as the Messiah, it seems really obvious. It's like everything, it's really, really, but maybe that's because we're removed. Do you know what I mean? Maybe we don't have any skin in the game. Literally, haha, didn't bump, but anyway. So verse 11. So the traders will cry and carry on because the bottom dropped out of business. No more market for their goods, gold, silver. That's interesting. No more market for their goods. Why would there not be a market for their goods anymore? Like, why would that be the case if that's, we'll have to get into that later. Gold, silver, precious gems, maybe because they're sunk. Maybe because something happens. Gems, pearls, fabrics, fine linen, purple, silk, scarlet, perfumed wood, and vessels of ivory. See, ivory is banned, the trade of ivory. That's why I think there's tunnels beneath the port, because ivory is banned, and yet they've lost all their tusks. It's a big deal. Like, I have friends who live in Africa, and they've said, like, everything, even the rhinos, they said the tusks have been harvested because they get high. People get high. They use it to snuff, and they get high on the tusks of the rhinos. Like, it's bad. And they're saying here that they go ahead and use the tusks, and they trade even the tusks. Precious woods, bronze, ivory, or bronze, iron, and marble, cinnamon, and spice, incense, myrrh, and frankincense. Ooh, we're going back to that, are we? Incense, myrrh, and frankincense. This is ancient. And that's one of the things I pointed out to my friends just this afternoon, a couple hours ago. I was like, weren't all the people who had caves, weren't all the people that were in Israel, all the Canaanites and stuff, didn't all of them already have caves? Weren't all the ancient peoples, like Rome had caves underneath? Romans all had caves underneath. They had catacombs. But didn't the ancient Israelites already have caves? Didn't they already tunnel? Wasn't that already happening thousands of years ago already? Wasn't that already in the nature? Like, isn't that what they actually built the arch for, was to support tunnels, to hide all their treasure? I was like, why wouldn't they be underneath? Why wouldn't we expect that? Frankincense, wine, oil, flour, and wheat, cattle, sheep, horses, and chariots. That's interesting. Horses are big, and horses are really big. Chariots and slaves. They're terrible traffic in human lives. And that's how I said to look into the human trafficking. All right, I'm starting to hurt too much. Everything you live for gone. All right, I can't go any further. You guys are going to have to read it yourselves. I'm in way too much pain. I'm not going to be able to speak. I'm going to have an episode on you, and then I'm going to black out. So I better stop speaking. I love you all so much. So please donate down below. And I can't remember my name anymore. So I'm going to go now. I love everybody. I know how to do the next part. Woo-wee. I love everybody, and I can't remember anything else. So God, I'm going to cry you. All right, I love you guys so much, and thank you for getting me into the FND Institute. So this isn't going to happen as much anymore as time goes on. It will be good. So I haven't started any treatment yet, but when it does, it's awfully expensive though. I just heard that from my husband. He just told me that. Oh, and tomorrow, I know it'll be out. This tape will get up after it, but tomorrow I have all these tests for my side, so you guys will already help out with that. I better go. Okay, love you. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you soon. Bye. And donate down below if you could, just $1. And to the people who are donating more than $1, you're incredible, because I know that is a sacrifice. I know it's already a sacrifice to give $1. But to those of you, I don't mean to belittle what it is that you're giving me. I know that it's a huge deal, and it means a lot to me. And I make sure that things like tomorrow, there are big procedures. These appointments that I have a lot of appointments that happen. It's almost every week now, and that you make that possible. So thank you so much. Talk to you later. Bye.